Hello out there. Today we are taking a look at the Mezco Hellboy figure. This dates back to 2005, and I've had it almost as long as that. I got it from my comic shop because Hellboy is one of my favorite comic book characters. Mike Mignola's art is awesome, and I particularly love, I like the live action movies too, but I just particularly love the feel of those early comics. They hooked me, and yeah, I've been a big fan ever since then. If you're a fan of classic old school Hellboy, this is the figure for you. It is awesome looking and also gigantic. Let me show you. For no reason whatsoever, here's G2 Megatron as a size comparison, so you can see just how enormous this figure is. We'll take a look at him close up here in a second, but first I want to show you this awesome box. It has some great art on the front, on the sides as well, and on the back it shows some of the other figures that they made. Again, there we go on the side, and man, it's just a gigantic piece of cardboard. And the inside also has some really cool Mike Mignola like kind of zombies. You can see they kind of wrap all the way around, and he looks great displayed just in this box. Mine's been on display for a long time and has a little wear and tear, but still kept the figure nice and crispy. So bringing Hellboy back in, we should talk about his articulation, because that is going to be a drawback for a lot of people. His head rotates side to side, but it doesn't look up or down. There's a tiny amount, but it's not really useful for anything. The arms rotate. Now the coat's going to limit how far you can do with that, and they do have a little tiny bit of outward motion like this. That's about it. Other than that, on the right hand of Doom, you can rotate the fist. This is actually a gigantic ball joint, but really it only serves to rotate. And on the other arm, the hand rotates, but there is no elbow, and instead you have kind of this side-to-side rotation, like so. So it can't actually bend upwards at all, which is a huge limitation for posing. He does have a waist swivel, and the legs are also very weird. They can go forward and back. It's kind of a He-Man style joint. It's like a ball joint, but it's very limited. It does have a thigh swivel, and then a sort of a mid-calf swivel, and then nothing in the foot. The tail can rotate around, and it's made of a soft material. Feels like there's a wire in there, but I haven't reposed this tail since I got it, because when you feel it, it doesn't give easily. Really afraid of breaking that, and you don't want to do that because he is almost impossible to stand up without the tail. Here, I'll try and see if I can. So it's possible. See, there's like a balance point right there, but flip the tail down. Whoops. Solid as a rock. Bad demonstration, but there you go. Now you can see the effectiveness. So posing is going to be very limited. There's only so much you can do with this guy. Doesn't mean you can't get some good poses, and he has a great presence, but you're not going to be doing any kung fu action things with him. So articulation, kind of a down point. But don't let that bum you out, because everything else about him is incredible. If you look at his ugly mug here, you can see it is the spitting image of what appears in the comics. It's got his samurai bun there, and just all over his skin you can see he's got a nice wash that really brings out the detail, and it's been sculpted in a way that really captures the feel of the art. If I can open up his jacket a little bit, give you an idea there. Now you could theoretically remove this jacket, but it's not easy without risking the figure, so I'm certainly not going to do it. Speaking of the jacket, it's a nice material. It's very thick, but in his case, I think that's appropriate. The stitching is nice and small. It looks very authentic for the scale, and it does have this faux leather collar. On his right shoulder, let's see here, he's got, I can get this open here, he's got the BPRD logo, a little 4-leaf clover. Turn him around, you can see he's got a, you know, sort of a interesting button that allows his tail to kind of come through. Again, just all over. I love the feel of the coat. You can see the buttons there. It does have some fake pockets. And then if we look underneath the coat, there's even more cool stuff. His belt here has all kinds of accessories, pouches, these kind of leather straps with rings where he could attach on pretty much whatever you want to do. This funny leather piece for his tail. See, it has like a strap that goes underneath. He's got his crucifix, which is a molded piece of plastic but done up to look like wood with rosary beads. He has a horseshoe here, and then of course the Samaritan is holstered on his hip. Now, when I was a kid, my neighbor had one of those large-scale Indiana Jones action figures, and I remember thinking it was so cool that he had this little, well, not little, it was huge, die-cast pistol that would fit in his holster. And just in general, I thought that figure was really cool. But anyway, I digress. Point is, here's the Samaritan. We'll get that out in just a second because I'm realizing I need to show his feet. Again, it's plastic, no molded detail on the bottom, but very well done, very well colored. He's got kind of his action shorts on there. Great looking figure. Really like this. Oh, and the tail, give you a close look here. I don't know if you can see kind of the texture. It squeezes, very squeezable. Yeah. Okay, so his one real accessory is the Samaritan. The Good Samaritan. Forged out of Irish church bells, crucifixes, various silver implements, and the handle is supposedly made from the true cross. It is very well executed, as you can see here. It's plastic all the way around, just you know, painted. You can see there, and they did a little bit of a wash to kind of give it that metallic feel. Very cool gun. Doesn't open, unfortunately. You can't rotate the cylinder or anything. But what you can do is place it in his hand. Now his hand is molded, and actually if you look at that close, you can see it even has like a wash in the fingernails to bring it out. But you just kind of slide it in and very squeakily maneuver the fingers around the handle and his trigger finger through the trigger, and he has a pretty good grip. So again, not a lot of posability, but he can get the job done. You can have him you know, aiming down the barrel, ready to take somebody out. Very cool. Looks great. Very much completes his look. And of course, what the Samaritan can't take care of, the old right hand of doom will definitely be able to handle. So the last thing I wanted to mention was that despite his lack of posability, if you have some accessories that are big enough, like this axe, you can still get him in some poses where he looks like he's ready for business. This repurposed select converter Colt makes a nice size handgun for him, for instance. or you can go for that sci-fi look with one of these MPP-10 enhancement guns. So in the end, this isn't a figure that's going to be for everybody. I can't recommend it based on its articulation or anything like that, but I would say that in general, for the prices I've seen it going for on the secondary market, if you love Hellboy and you want something to really bring his presence into your comic room or wherever you have your Hellboy trades displayed, this guy's awesome. He looks great in his box, he looks great out of the box, and all around he is a fantastic representation of the character. So, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Take care until next time.